Everybody is just busy talking to their friend on their phone, laughing and gisting, and they don't even notice that you just walked in. You just wish that someone will even notice and tell you hi. Someone will try to be friendly to you, but it seems like they don't care about you. It seems like nobody gives a hoot about you. In this video, I'm going to be showing you why that happens and what you are going to do to get out of that cycle, to get out of that negative loop. It's not good for your social life, especially on campus. So I'm going to help you get out of that by using real life examples, real life solutions that will help you immediately. I'm going to be out of that loop at the end of this video. I understand what you are feeling. You can be given a group project, and when you try to give your contribution, they probably just snub you. I've seen that happen many times with a lot of people that I have coached, and I have helped them come out of that negative loop, as I call it. Because I believe that one thing that every human being desires deeply is the feeling of being respected, being needed. And if you are lacking that, then it could affect various areas of your life, including your self-esteem, which I don't think I want that for you. Is there a secret manual? There is a secret manual, and the secret manual is this video. At the end of this video, it's no longer going to be a secret for you. It's going to be open for you. The first thing that you must know if you will come out of that loop of being ignored by your classmates, by other people, by your lecturers and the rest, is you must understand this spotlight effect. What do I call it? The spotlight effect. And what is this effect? It's a cognitive bias, which makes us believe that people pay more attention to us than they actually do. What do I mean? Let's say you just finished talking to someone now, and on your way, you tripped on the stairs or you tripped on a rock. What your brain begins to tell you is that, oh, this lady, probably that was your crush that you just finished talking to. You begin to feel like, oh, this lady will start laughing at me. She's going to mock me. She's not going to talk to me anymore. But the challenge is that you are just encapsulated in that cycle called the spotlight effect. You believe that people are paying more attention to you than they actually do. Let me tell you something. People are more focused on themselves than they are focused on you. Nobody's going to remove themselves as the center of attraction to replace themselves with you. Nobody cares about you as much as they care about themselves. Yes, I know that there's a concept of selflessness and not being selfish and all of that. But no matter how selfless a person is, the person is not going to displease he or herself just to please you. Write this down. Everybody is the focus of their universe. The moment you walked in through that door into the lecture hall, you were thinking, oh, everybody is looking at you, but they are ignoring you, which is wrong. The truth of the matter is, no one was actually looking at you in the first place. Yes, there were probably people looking at the door. Maybe they were thinking, they were just spaced out. They were not looking at you, my dear brother, my dear sister. That's the fact of the matter. And you see, I'm not just saying this to encourage you. I'm telling you this out of research, years of research, experience, as someone who these things have happened to, and I decided to sit down and make the research and break it down. All I'm doing is just to bring this to your attention now, to teach you on YouTube that people are not really paying attention to you as much as you think they are. A lot of people have their own burdens. A lot of people have their own challenges, their own thoughts, things that fill their mind. They are not going to replace that with you. Sorry to say. Why am I saying sorry? Because it's actually good news. Because knowing this, you can do a lot. Oh, you can improve your social life by a lot. I did it. How will you use this spotlight effect to improve your social life? Let me tell you. It is encapsulated in a concept called the exposure effect. Oh my, the exposure effect. If I want to be friends with someone today, let's say I see a beautiful lady that I'm probably attracted to, or that I want to be a friend, and I want that lady to be my friend, what I have to do is to expose myself to that lady or to that guy or whoever I want to be friends with. I just expose myself to that person, and with time we are going to be friends. What do I mean when I say exposure? What I'm saying is familiarity. How is friendship formed in the first place? Do you know the answer? It's simple. Friendship is formed when familiarity increases. Why are you my friend? You are my friend because you are really familiar with me. You are familiar with my way of life. You are familiar with what I'm going to do when someone does something to me. Oh, that's why your friend can tell someone something like, oh, don't tell Elisha this thing, oh, because Elisha is going to get angry if you tell him this thing. Or, why do we even say our friends can betray us? And when our friends betray us, it's very deep. Why do we say that? because your friends know so much about you. Familiarity. And the more familiar you are with someone, the closer you are with that person. I have family members. I have friends. There are certain things that my family members know about me on a deeper level, which my friends don't know. It's not that these people are not my friends. They are my friends. I've called them my friends. But you see, on the scale of familiarity, they have not gotten to that point, that height of familiarity, to be able to know so much about me than my mom. So the higher the level of familiarity, the closer the friendship. And that is just the exposure effect. So what am I trying to say? You need to understand that there's a link between the spotlight effect and the exposure effect. You need to link them together. How do you do this? The spotlight effect is that people are paying more attention to you than you think they are. We have said that that is a lie. People are not paying more attention to you than you. Come on. People don't really care that much about what you are doing with your life. That's the truth of the matter. So it means that to people, you are invincible. What did I say? To people, you are invincible. So now that you want to be visible, you must make yourself visible. If you want to be visible, you must make yourself visible. Just like what the Holy Book said, that a man who will make friends must first of all make himself friendly. Understanding that spotlight effect, you now know that to people you are invincible. So you must make yourself visible. And how do you make yourself visible? By exposing yourself to people who you want to be friends with. Simple. So what I'm going to do in this video is to show you steps on how you can utilize this exposure effect to your benefit. I'm going to tell you the story of David, one of the students that I helped to make a lot of friends, both in his class, in the school in general, his juniors, his seniors. He had a lot of friends from there. In the church, you see, I'm going to use the example of the class and the church. He was always sitting outside before lectures. When the lecturer comes in and he sees the lecturer approaching, he will go inside the class, have a seat at the back seat for that matter. Then the lecturer comes in, lectures, lecturer leaves, and guess who is the first person to leave the lecture hall? David is the first person to exit the lecture hall. Someone who wants to make friends. Imagine. That's the classroom experience. Now let's go to his fellowship, the church experience. In the church, this guy will come. He will have his seat somewhere at the back row, of course, as usual. And he's not going to talk to anybody. And immediately they share the grace. This guy is out. I guess David's problem is very glaring to everyone now as to why he never had friends. Until he met me, of course, now. Of course, until he met me. And I showed him what to do. What did David do? Step 1. Become geographically predictable. Let's take, for instance, we're using David as a case study now. Instead of sitting at the back, David decided to come and sit down at the third row. Following my advice, of course. Sitting at a particular spot. Monday, Tuesday, throughout the week, he had seatmates on that row. So after sitting there for like 3 days, 5 days, it's only natural that if you are sitting with the same set of people for a week, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, you and that person will begin to communicate one way or the other. It might start with, oh, please borrow me your pen, I need to write this. To, what did this lecturer say? I didn't get what the lecturer said, please. What did you jot in your notes? To just all those minor conversations until it begins to get to larger ones. That is the familiarity effect I was talking about. So sitting at the same position, being geographically predictable is very good. I want you to notice that when you sit down in the classroom, even before other people begin to come into the classroom, if you are the only one in the class, you can actually tell that, oh, if Blessing comes in, this is where Blessing is going to sit down. And since Blessing is sitting down there, Precious will also sit down there. These things are practical things that you see every day in the classroom. Oh, if John is coming in, he's going to sit down at the 4th row. So if Joy is coming in, Joy will also sit down with John. You can predict these things with people. Why are you not using it? Become geographically predictable. Pick a particular spot in the class, preferably a place where people are already seated. Pick that place and begin to sit down there. With time, your seatmates will become familiar with you. You also become familiar with your seatmates. Friendship has been formed. So just let the exposure effects do the heavy lifting for you. It works like magic. But I must warn you, when it comes to this, you have friends in class, you've joined a study group. That's a very important point. Make sure you join a study group. Yes, most likely your study group members will become your friends. In the church, you join a unit. In the school, you join a club in the school. Maybe Red Cross, Jet Science, you join a club. But make sure you are not spreading yourself too thin across those places. I would advise that you just pick 2 groups that you belong to. Because if you have commitments in the church, you have commitments in the club, you have commitments in your study group, you have commitments in the class, what of the days where the meetings are clashing? Or what if you have a meeting on Monday, you have a meeting on Tuesday, like that? It might affect your academics. So personally, I just have 3 of such units that I am. You notice that these people that are in these groups, one way or the other, form my friend circle. Now, what was the second step that David took? I call it the 3-second open door policy. Many of you, when you enter your classroom, you enter your lecture hall, or let's say anywhere in general, when you just step into the place and people look at you, all they can just see is do not disturb, do not disturb. Please, you need to change that from do not disturb to open for business. Many of you are really skilled though and talented. You have gifts that will wow the world and wow your colleagues. But because all people can read from you is do not disturb, do not disturb, oh, do not disturb. That's why nobody is talking to you. That's why you seem invisible. So you need to change that perspective. It's called social perspective. You must change that social perspective to a positive one. What did I advise David to do? Simple. When you step into your lecture hall, don't put your headset. How can you put headset and be expecting someone to even say hi to you? Just take off your headset first. At least when you have your seat. After some minutes, you could do that. So take off your headset. Raise your chin at a normal level. Stand upright. Don't look down like someone who is timid, someone who is scared of some sort of intimidation and the rest. No, stand upright. Show your confidence. When David started this, he began to reach out to me. I was like, wow, Elisha, is this how this thing works? Because I also told him something very important, which I'm going to let you know right now. Eye contact is a very powerful mechanism if you want to make friends. Oh my days. Eye contact. Have you ever noticed that you are sitting in the classroom and maybe someone just turns their head and by accident locks eye with you? What do you do at that instance? You just remove your eye like. When such a thing happens, what do? I lock eye with the person also and I smile. Or what I do is I lock eye with the person, I smile and I do this. Oh my, oh my, oh my. More than 90% of the time, these people also smile back. And it doesn't just end there. After the class, we end up having meaningful conversations. Some of the time, they come to me. Some of the time, I go to them. It was an accident, but I turned that accident into friendship. Call that accidental friendship. Whatever you want to call it. But it's a 3-second open door policy. Anything can happen within those seconds. You can determine friendship and you can determine invisibility within those seconds. What was the third thing I asked David to do? It is called the anchor question technique. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm just telling us that in reality, people are not so wise. When you begin to come across people, you'll realize that there are a lot of unwise people on suits and tie. Sorry to say. I'm not talking about you, of course. But take for instance, David told me a story before he began to practice this anchor question technique. He told me a story of a time when about 10 of them were given a group assignment that at the end of the semester, they are going to present it as a presentation for their final continuous assessment. And in the process of the assignment, he has studied for that assignment and all. And when he got there, he tried to give his contribution and he was ignored by a set of people, about 3 people. And he just decided to sit down and stay quiet. And the rest of the people there began to argue. They began to shout and shout and shout. And he just waited for them to be done with all their noise. And he asked them this question. Alright, now that you guys are done shouting, what do we do about this problem? If you know how to utilize this question, you will just lead in every group that you find yourself. Yes, you will make fools know that they are fools without telling them that they are foolish. Because when he asks that question, Suddenly, it hits them that they have just been pointlessly arguing without presenting any meaningful way forward. You must learn how to apply this anchor question. And the question always revolves around, now that you are done being the loudest noisemaker, without insulting them, of course, but now that you are done arguing, what is the way forward? In every situation where you find yourself being ignored, make sure you know how to apply this anchor question. You will just notice that they are now calm and they're wondering like, okay, so we were actually foolish all this while. Okay. You ask the question, what is your wisdom? Give us wisdom. And whatever you say at that moment, they'll take your word for it. After all their noise could not produce any meaningful result. So they're going to take your word for it. And from that day forward, your voice will be valued. That is all I told David, though. And he used it. And as I'm speaking to you right now, he's the group leader for that presentation. Oh, someone who was the backbencher is now the group leader for that presentation. These things are practical steps. I'm not just talking theory. Practical psychological steps that you can take, and it's going to pay you any day, anytime, anywhere, even outside school. It's going to help you. If you know how to utilize this, you will thank me every single time that you win using it. You are going to thank me. It's called the anchor question technique. Refuse to be ignored. Ask them that question and watch all of them melt before your face. It will help you to immediately establish your presence wherever you find yourself. The fourth strategy that I told David, which changed his life completely, was be reliably helpful. Nobody is going to push someone away who is very much helpful to their life. If this person is helpful to me, this person is reliable to me, why then will I push that person away? Why then won't I want to be a friend to that person? So at every point in your life, you want to try to be helpful to people. You want to be a good person to people. You want to assist in ways that you can. Even if not financially, maybe you are not at that point yet. But in terms of emotions, moral support, you see someone who just failed an exam, walk up to that person and give that person the gift of your presence. You don't know how much your presence means to people. Oh, those words of affirmation that you give to people who need it, you don't know how much it means. You are someone who is academically sound and your classmates failed a subject or had a carryover. Just going to that your classmate and offering to assist the classmate with any revision he might need for the carryover. You don't know how much it means to that person. It means a lot, oh. It means a lot. Your presence. Just try to be reliably helpful to someone. Someone is in need and you can assist the person. Try to do that. You see, the more you do this, the more friends you will have. From my own experience, I don't just call these people friends because the level of friendship will be deeper than you can ever imagine. It graduates from being just friends to being loyalists. These people become loyal to you. Haven't you heard when someone says, oh, you see this guy, I can do anything for this guy. Even if it will cost me myself, I can do anything to help this guy. And not just him, I can do anything to help his children. Why? Because when I was down, he held me. When we needed food, he gave me food. How many people died to defend the faith? Do you know how helpful Jesus was to these people? Oh yes, they were grown men following Jesus. Some of them had families that they had to take care of. A lot of them left their jobs to follow him. Jesus was taking care of them. You need to be reliably helpful to people. If you are merciful to people today, tomorrow people will be merciful to you. That's the philosophy of life. And so I told David this, and it just changed his life completely. After church service, instead of just running to his house, last to come, first to leave, he decided to stay behind and at least assist in arranging the chairs. And from there, he began to make friends because he was not the only one stacking chairs. There were other people there. And now he has a lot of friends in the church. When he enters, you even think he's one popular singer. If you're not careful and he shoots up for you here and he climbs the altar, you may even think he's the pastor of that church because of the way people are applauding him and so happy. He's now a unit leader in that same church where he said he was being ignored. In the class, as I'm speaking to you now, their election is next week Saturday. He's running for vice president of his association. You need to show yourself to be helpful to people. Of course, I know what is in your mind. Oh, you don't want to be taken for granted. You must know when to draw the line. You don't want to cross that thin point between being helpful and being taken for granted. No. So these are the 4 steps that I told David, which completely transformed his life from being a boring guy to being the school social guy and to someone who is even vying for the post of vice president. And I've told him that after this next season, this tenure, nothing is stopping you from vying for the post of presidency. Of course, you have the fame now, you have the popularity now, you have the brains, you can do it. So before we draw the curtain, I just want to debunk some of the lies that you've started telling yourself. 1, I'm an introvert. Being an introvert is not a sickness. What is the cure to being an introvert? Is to take the first step. Yes, the cure to being an introvert is to walk up to that person today and tell the person hello. Once you start, there is no going back. The second lie you're telling yourself is, but people don't like my personality. Hello, remember the spotlight effect. People are not even seeing you. You are invisible to people. So it's not like people don't like you. It's just that you are invisible to people. Take the truth for what it is. What's the third lie that you're telling yourself? But I don't feel confident yet to talk to anybody or to have friends or to make friends. Act first, then confidence will follow. Definitely. You don't need to be the loudest person. You know, there are people who even go to the extent of maybe mocking people, trying to make others to laugh at people just because they want attention and they want to be tagged as the funniest guy. Such a thing. You know, you don't need that. You don't need that. All you just need to do is to be yourself, to follow those 4 steps. Whether you want to make friends or not, it's completely up to you right now. It's no longer a secret. It's now an open book. If you found this video helpful, make sure you don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. And like this video so that every other person like you can see it. Please make sure you like it, subscribe, and recommend this channel to someone who you feel needs this video at this very moment. I will see you at the top, and make sure you watch my next video.